because the three rail track's actually raised on a tin plate base with a sort of a gravel and sleeper effect on it. Any buildings or platforms I put along here, I need to bring up to the roughly the base of the rail height here. You can see some cork tile here which I've put in to bring the ground level up to where it should be against the track. This is the underneath of the platform, and you can see I've got some strips of wood here, and I've put another layer of wood on top. I've faced the platform wall with some brick paper, and then the top of the platform you'll see is covered in a sort of a tarmac effect card. That's got to be painted in, and then the white edged strip's got to be put on. So if I put all that back, let's pop the platform down there. I've got some buildings for it. I've got this small unit which is a plastic kit that Wills provide, and I've painted it up in a southern colour scheme and put some posters on it just to add some realism to it. But that will go sort of roughly around there, and then alongside that there's some facilities which you can see here. Again, it all comes as part of that kit. I've just added some posters to the walls, and that just drops along up there. This is the platform wall. I've tried to copy the southern concrete sections that they made platform walls from. So it's a piece of card with some strips of matchstick just glued to it. So that'll be painted up. It's the end of the platform, so there's a slope to it as well. So around here, what I've got, I'm going to change the effect of the brick wall here. So the curve is actually got the look of a southern sort of concrete sectional wall, which we use to support platforms. So that will swing round there. Another strip will go at the back there. It'll narrow down because around there's probably going to be some sort of car parking access to the top of the platform. Coming round to the level crossing area, I'm going to put the signal box next to that. That's another plastic kit. This time it's made by Ratio, but again I've put it in the southern colours. That little signal box fits alongside there by the level crossing, so obviously the signalman can actually operate the crossing gates. That's the reason for placing it there. You can see I've laid the cork tile around the edge, and there'll be another piece of cork on the inside as well, which will raise the ground level around the layout to roughly the height of the three rail ballasted track. So you can see the cork tile edged up against the track sides brings the ground level to around about the correct height for buildings and platforms. In relation to the edges, I shall finish these off with used tea leaves. So I've been taking tea leaves out of these Yorkshire tea bags, and I've provided myself with quite a supply, which you can see in this little container here. I'll give you a demo. It's probably the best thing to do, really. If I take some of these tea leaves and just lightly sprinkle them alongside the edge of the track, so get that a bit higher. And you can see the effect that it's giving. Well, the plan is not to get all the ballast glued up against the metal of the track, because that sort of spoils the Hornby Dublo originality if I want to reuse the track anywhere. So what I've got removable cork sections, so I shall just build up, there we go, just build up the ballast on the cork, and then the track will just slot in the gaps between each side of the cork. So there we go. It's a sort of a mock-up demo of used tea leaves being used as ballast. Just use the usual to glue the leaves down. I'll just use a mixture of the PVA glue and water mix. So if you put a truck on there, it's not going to be too shabby in terms of a general effect. Just move that bar out of the way. So there you have it. There's a bit of track that's got some tea leaf ballast effect on it. Anyway, we'll see how that goes, and I'll probably end up, adding a little bit of weathering and paint to the ballast to get a good effect. But I think that the Dublo track, given its 3-rail tin plate, won't look too out of place once the effects put alongside it. Because of the sharp radius on the curve, there's going to be a reasonable gap between the coach body and the platform, but that's just one of the compromises you make when you're building a model railway with curves that are fairly tight compared to the actual real radius on a proper railway. It's important to check the coach actually doesn't catch the platform on the curve. To build the curved platform top, I've just used old cereal packets, and I've just got to put the final piece of card on top now to finish it off. Here's the platform with the card on the top, and all I need to do now is to give it a coat of paint to make it look like the real thing. As well as drinking plenty of tea during lockdown for the ballasting work, I've also purchased a Gauge Master feedback controller to run the scenic layout with. I find it works really well with Hornby Dublo 3-rail and gives the locos a nice steady constant speed, which allows them to amble around and sort of mirror how branch lines would have operated during their heyday. So this is the controller. There's 4 wires coming off it. 2 wires are connected to a 16-volt AC supply, and the other 2 wires, the red and black wires, red and black, go to the track. And it's a handy little unit because there's a long cable with it, and it allows you to have quite a reasonable walkabout with it, so you can move around the layout as you're watching and controlling your trains. The other item I've purchased during the 8-week period of lockdown is a new Hornby Dublo electric train set. When I say new, it's new to me, but it's obviously a pre-loved, pre-used outfit. So let's take the lid off and see what's in the box. Well, first of all, there's a booklet on rail layout suggestions. This looks quite old, so nice piece of literature with some layout diagrams all nicely set out and explained. And there's another booklet, not sure about this one, Hornby Railway Company it says. Well, it tells you all about the railway company. This is an even older booklet, I think. It's got pictures of some of the Hornby O-gauge stock and various people having fun with the looks like trips out, like Dreamers' Days Out. It's actually got the 3-rail locos in there. So it's perhaps not quite as old as I thought, although the illustrations are all company locos rather than British Railways. So there we have it, a Hornby Railway Company booklet. Take care of those. That's an added bonus. I wasn't expecting those when I bought the train set. So what have we got? We've got the Great Western Guards van, a Great Western 12-ton van and a 12-ton Great Western truck. And if I take this off, under here it should find the Loco. Read the instructions. Yeah, well, let's have a look. There we go. There goes a Hornby Dublo model of a tank engine in Great Western Railway livery. Yeah, that's really neat. We'll get that running in a minute or two. Really pleased with that. Hornby Dublo brought out a range of tank engines, one for each of the big four companies before the nationalisation by British Railways. The body types are basically the same, but the Great Western Railway one had some differences. For instance, the chimney here has got a copper cap on top of it, and the dome has got a different shape, typical Great Western shape, this covered in I think is brass, and I think that dome also is used as the safety valve enclosure as well, because if you look at the LMS version here, you can see the two safety valves are separately fitted here. Behind the valves is the engine whistle, tiny little whistle just here, and there's a whistle here on the Great Western one. So those were the differences that are easy to spot between the Great Western tank engine and the other tank engines in the Hornby Dublo fleet. That's just a close-up of the effect of the tea-leaf ballast on the platform side, and the effect I've got with the paint on the concrete walled section of platform. There's still quite a bit of work to do on the station, accessorising it with various station fittings that I'll need to get. But you can see there's room to add a few items along here. If you look at the end of the platform, I've put a water crane there. It's an Airfix water crane. I'm actually going to build a platform ramp there, and the crane's actually going to sit on it in a level sort of position, so it can be used to top up the tank engine water tanks as they stop at the station.